everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Josie, and today I wanted to finally get that video out that I've been promising to do on what I've been doing to help resolve my chronic pain. And I am going to jump right into it with a little background. I have had chronic pain issues since college. Back in 2016, I ended up at the ER because of chronic pain and just being totally debilitated by it, basically. But basically, I've had everything from pain to the point I was throwing up to having trouble walking. There's been multiple incidences where I had to have help from getting up from the floor. A lot of major pain issues, to the point sometimes it was almost seizure-ish like. As far as the episodes, it would be, usually a few minutes long, and literally my muscles would just jerk and twitch and just, it hurt, spasm. It hurt so bad, and it wasn't just like a calf spasm. It was full body from head to toe, and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't move. And whenever it was over, I was literally like exhausted. But yeah, I ended up in the ER in 2016 for some of those issues. They did absolutely nothing for me. They called it a chronic anxiety attack and heavily medicated me and sent me home. We didn't take that as the answer. So I got into a neurologist later that week, had an MRI done, went back to see him to discuss the MRI, which he never even discussed, never saw it, never really even mentioned it. It's like, oh, you've got MS, here's you some gabapentin, and then made a wisecrack joke of, just be careful you don't get fat on it. And thanks, appreciate it. I'm over here hurting and, having trouble walking, like as if I'm, hadn't been walking very long, and you're cracking jokes about this medication that's going to make me fat, according to you. I ended up finding a neurologist that was actually closer to me, so I didn't have to drive over an hour. That neurologist had another MRI done and looked at the previous MRI and compared them. And he was like, I would think this MRI would be fine if you was in your 60s. But I was in my 20s at the time. He's like, you shouldn't have all these big white spots. And he actually showed me the MRI, and then showed me the second one as well. He's like, basically it was the same kind of thing as far as, work on diet related stuff, but basically gabapentin and nervines and antidepressants. I don't know why they give you antidepressants for that. I mean, it's supposed to help. It didn't do anything really for me other than make me depressed, but I don't know. I didn't take them very long at all. Didn't take gabapentin very long at all either, because I don't like taking stuff like that. I took it literally when I need it, just enough to relax my body, enough to be able to rest, basically, and then I would be able to not take it every day, which supposedly does not work, but it worked for me, and I did it the way it worked for me. I had headaches a lot, migraine headaches, and like every other day or so, sometimes they would last for several days. So, and sinus issues that I've had since before 2016, like since I was 19, for whatever reason. So that's a little background on what I've been up against, and now I'm going to tell you what I've been doing to fix it, or at least to help it tremendously. And again, I am not a doctor. I'm not telling you to do what I've done. I'm not telling anybody to do any of this or take any of the things I'm taking. I'm simply showing you what I have done that has helped me. So, yeah, don't take my word for it. Talk to your doctor. But first off, we're going to start with ivermectin And yes, it's the horse paste. I grew up on a horse farm. You know, I have more trust in animal products than I do human products because let's face it, they have more regulation on animal products than they do horse or human products, which is sad, depressing, and wrong in my mind, but that's the way it is. This one is the one I started with. I actually started with the gel, not the paste, but this is the only box I could find that I had left over. But yeah, it's just ivermectin paste. And then I also started out with this one, which is ivermectin and praziquantel, both. And I took both of those twice a day. I think I actually took the ivermectin at lunchtime too, there for the first few days because I was so desperate at that point to feel better because I had felt horrible. I had had a flare up for, it felt like a month at that point when I finally was like, okay, you know, the Lord brought up the whole deal with the ivermectin and stuff for me, and I fully give it to Him because for whatever reason I ain't smart enough to put two and two together by myself. You know, I grew up on a horse farm and we had every kind of animal you think of. If any animal started having health issues or was not thriving, that was one of the first things we would look for was parasites. Never thought about it for myself. Don't know why. But He put some stuff in my path one day. I just happened to get on one of my little search engines and it popped up. And I started looking into it. Well, the next thing that popped up was MS and parasites and how they are pretty much one and the same, basically. So when I started really researching that, I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. Worst case scenario, it does absolutely nothing. Okay, I already feel crappy anyway, so if it doesn't help, it doesn't help. If it does help, that would be wonderful. It did. But anyways, that's the two I started out with. The next time I went to the store, I got ivermectin and I got this one, which is fenbendazole, because I think there's 4 different ones that you're supposed to take to be able to get the whole range of parasites that can live in the human body, basically. So yeah, I got this the next time I went. The one thing I will say about the fenbendazole, and I only noticed it with the fenbendazole, it makes me ill. Like, it makes me irritated. I have very little patience. I'm not as pleasant to be around. And it wasn't just me. My mom actually tried it as well, and she said she had the same thing. I just happened to ask her. I was like, you're taking the fenbendazole, right? Does it make you ill and cranky? And she's like, I never thought of it, but yeah. So we both quit, and within a day or so, I think it was by the next day, we were both, back to normal. But anyways, that's the 3 I've been taking as far as the horse pace. And yeah, I know I'm going to get some flack for it being horse pace. Whatever. It's worked for me, so it is what it is. I'm just telling you my story. Take it as a grain of salt. Do your own research. Figure it out for yourself. Is the best way to go about it. One other supplement that I have been taking as well, and I've taken this more consistently than any of it because I have taken breaks off and on, either because I actually, just ran out of it and wasn't going to the feed store, or just, got tired of taking stuff. But this black walnut and wormwood, I take it pretty much every day, and I have since I started. There's been a few days that I've missed. But for the most part, I've taken it every day, and I think it actually helped to kind of clear up some of the stuff and some of the detox stuff that I had from taking the others. I was a little tired when I first started taking it for the first week or so, and then after that, after about a week, the pain started getting a little better, and I kind of just randomly noticed one day, it's like, hey, I'm not really achy, and, I just worked my tail off outside mowing, and I don't hurt, it just kind of dawned on me, it's like, hey, this must be working. And since then, after the first month, basically, I haven't had near as many incidences where I'd have a flare-up or something like that. I've had no headaches. Those have been gone. The migraines have been gone. So I fully believe that this has helped with the migraines and the headaches, both. because I don't have any other explanation for it. I really don't. And I've tried everything else to get rid of just the headaches over the years, like giving up coffee, and I love coffee. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I think I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. I do plan on continuing these, and basically, you know, it's just a tube, and it has a weight on it. I just took what my body weight would be. I really didn't care if I went over a little bit, because from what I've gathered, you know, and with animals, I grew up always being, you know, told it's better to give them a little more than they need than not enough. So I would try to get it around what my weight is, and, you know, call it good. I will say that if I go more than a couple weeks without, particularly the ivermectin, I get to start hurting a little bit more. I've had a couple little flare-ups during those times. Nothing as close as what it used to be, but I have had a little bit of a flare-up if I go too long without it. So it's one of those things, you know, I don't really know, you know, I don't know if I should be taking it every day from now on or what. But I have taken like a 2-week break in between, you know, basically a tube, because, you know, it feeds storage reps basically. And I have figured out that I have to keep it pretty regular. But other than that, I think it's something that I'm going to continue doing at least once a month, you know, around full moon kind of deal, just to keep everything hopefully leveled out and keep doing. I'm also going to add in some other detox stuff to help kind of finish flushing out whatever toxins I can, you know, try to get as much of a clean slate as possible. But so far, you know, I honestly, particularly the ivermectin, I mean, I love it. It has literally given me my life back. I have not hurt like I used to hurt since I started taking it. So I will forever be a fan of this. I really like the ivermectin. I highly recommend the ivermectin. I've told, you know, all of my other family that hasn't already been trying it, you know, about it and whatnot. So yeah, I'm the crazy person, but you know what? I can be crazy, but at least I'm getting my life back, and I'm back to riding horses and push mowing and working in the garden every day and playing ball, you know. So if that's what it takes to do it, then so call me crazy, I guess. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. Again, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. But I do intend to do some more videos like this. I know this is kind of my first long video, so I'm sure it's not the greatest. But I just wanted to get it out there because I was hoping it might give someone else a little bit of hope. Because, I mean, I was in the deep, dark pits of this sucks kind of mentality, and I don't feel that way anymore. So hopefully this will help you, or at least maybe urge you to look into detoxing from parasites, because I highly recommend at least studying on it, because I don't think it's going to hurt. And you don't have to do what I did. There's all kinds of detoxes for parasites out there. This is just what I tried. So if you've tried anything else and you find it has really helped you or benefited you, feel free to leave it in the comments. I would love to read your comments and maybe try some other remedies. Because like I said, I'm still on a healing journey. I'm not perfect by any means. I am, you know, 80% better than what I was and working on it, but feel free to leave any comments, you know, that I might can benefit from, or someone else that's reading them as well might could learn something as well.